Alright, cool. I have Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, YouTube. Oh, fuck. Who am I kidding? They might as well about be the same thing. As bad as, they're getting. This video is about placing blame on men. You can't always place blame on men. Some women, you should take responsibility. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're just really bad at what you're doing, and you think, well, hey, man's dick's not hard, and it must be because of the. It's not because of me. I could see that, like, if you're talking about a guy who's like old, but in most cases, I don't think that's necessarily true. Women need to take the blame, either if it's for their looks or their lack of, knowing how to please their man or what to do to please their man. It's called communication, and not all men are going to tell you, "Hey, bitch, you're sucking it wrong." I mean, I know that I ain't the best looking motherfucker, but I'll be fucking damn sure to tell your ass, "Hey, that's not how you do it. You don't do it right," or you want to place blame on somebody having a limp dick. I mean, and you look like a swamp monster. Um, your problem might not be the guy, or your problem might not be the guy needing Viagra. The guy most likely won't need Viagra, and the issue might be with something to do with you. I hear women say those same repetitive lines. Well, this guy just can't get a dick hard or some bullshit like that. Well, instead of blaming it always on the guy, maybe some take some initiative to, well, hey, maybe it's something I'm doing wrong along those lines. Maybe I have a hairy snatch or hairy armpit or hairy legs, or I don't know, some weird shit that makes you look like a man that might turn people off. I don't know. I mean, if you're straight and I mean, even if you are straight and you like that shit, fine. But if you're into straight dudes, don't expect them to be crazy about that shit, because as far as I'm aware, most men don't like hairy women, um, or they be trying to knock down people's doors over them. Yeah, um, I think that's pretty much where we're going to talk about that. The I'm going to talk about spoilers. I think I made a live video about the spoilers about Deadpool. Like that, it makes it like it wasn't worth Deadpool giving up his own life to save that little boy, to show him he cared, so he stopped him from becoming a mass murderer. Because, like, at the end of the movie, the dude jumps a curb in the taxi and then runs the guy leading that school over, that's full of so it defeats that purpose, and then defeats the purpose because Deadpool comes back anyway, and he says, "Fuck it, I'll come back, and help you guys out." And then on top of that, all the males working there apparently are 30 something or older males that are all religious, that they read this religious text while they're abusing and torturing these children. They apparently they molest them all too. They're all child molesters, we're led to believe, and that's not questioned. So apparently, all these child molesters, they're abusing these children and molesting them, but nobody cares apparently in this universe. Like, nobody, it's not against the law, so they can go ahead and do that, and nothing happens to them. The police don't arrest them. CPS don't come do anything. The shit just happens regardless. I mean, it's really ridiculous. This theme to me reminds me of like the leftist type of propaganda in movies and comics, especially with the Marvel um, uh, SJW feminism comics. Like the girl Supersonic, whatever the fuck her name is, she literally introduces this other girl who's also a mutant, and she's Asian, and none of that really fucking matters. It's not a big deal, and she has like pink hair, and she introduces this girl, and she says her name is Pikachu or whatever the fuck her name is, some shit like that. And I'm not even making this up. And then she goes, "She's my girlfriend," or literally just some bullshit like that. It's so ridiculous. It's like a one-liner. They hardly have any parts in the movie other than to declare that they're lesbians, and you don't see them, as far as I'm aware. I did not see them kiss, not one time, or get like close to each other, or like making out or anything like that. There's no real character development with these new mutants. The only mutants that you see from the X-Men is those two characters they just made up from the last Deadpool and this one, and the only other one from the X-Men is Colossus. That's mainly in the movie, and they show a brief scene like where they had the door open and you can see all the X-Men, and then they close the door quickly, like that, because they didn't want Deadpool to know that they were there, so they were kind of like hiding from him, and that was like the one scene with them in it. And well, Cable was in it, but I mean, he had to do with like X-Men / X Factor thing. I don't know if you would consider him like an X-Men, like he's time traveling, definitely. Um, Juggernaut was in it. That was cool, and Cable was cool in the movie. Deadpool was cool. I feel like there's more SJW isms in that movie. I have to wait until the movie comes out on DVD, just so I could tell, because there was so much shit that was said that was so far left leaning bullshit propaganda. It was almost like a straight, theme from the comic books. I'm not going to be surprised in the next movie with Thanos, um, if there's a lot of SJWism in that movie too, because they're introducing Captain Marvel, the female Captain Marvel, and they made her look really mannish in the comic books, and I'm just curious as to if they're going to make those movies that are going to be coming out like real um, left leaning, heavily SJW and feminist to it'll be it'll be horrible to see, but it will be a nice burning dumpster fire to watch. Um, they screwed up with Star Wars, so I'm wondering if they're doing the same thing with the Marvel movies like they did the comic books. With that being said, I will end the stream. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.